let me have an opportunity to briefly introduce him quickly. Dr. Dali Parimu is a distinguished professional with a comprehensive blend of corporate and academic experience spanning over 40 years. He is also an ISO certified lead assessor, reflecting his commitment to quality standards. His doctoral work has been prolific with 14 PhD awards under his guidance and more than 60 published papers in prestigious database. Dr. Parimu's expertise extends to conducting over more than 500 management and training programs, not only for middle and junior management, but also for senior leadership C-suite positions, all across various sectors. Over to you, Dr. Dalip, sir.
Thank you, Shikha. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I was wondering.
Very good afternoon, sir.
I have been given a very difficult session to share with you my thoughts with you because always I would like to have. In fact, after the lunch, it's very difficult for me and also for others to be awake immediately. But I was actually watching you soon because I joined 10 minutes earlier, and I was watching you bubbling with that is the spirit of the defense forces. Let me salute all of you. Before I start my session, I have a great respect for the by defense forces because I belong to a state which is, Kashmir. I belong to Kashmir, and I know what difficulties you are in always, what has been your role in guarding the borders. And let me salute you. Please accept my salute. Salute. Thank you.
Accepted, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So
Thank you
I
very
won't.
much.
Okay. I am not going to give you sermons today. Let's be very clear. It will be a experience sharing because you have been all at the senior management levels. You have been at the leadership levels for more than 3 decades, most of you. And I have also been at the senior leadership level for about 35 years out of my 40 years career. I was in senior. So we'll be sharing our experiences of the crisis. The topic which has been given to me is leadership in crisis. Okay. The PPT which I'll be sharing with you just indicate you. So I will not be using it for reading from the PPT, but I'll like your participation, keeping me awake, nudging me when I'm not awake, and I'll also share my experiences with you where I have faced crisis, how I have face these crises, and how I have overcome these. And I know as leaders, you are in such a position that you are always been facing these problems. I'll not call it problem, crisis. Whether it's on border, whether it's in peacetime, whether this is in wartime, and more so, I happen to be part of the inaugural session. I was there, and you raised some of the issues about the high tech being used in today's time and how to deal with it. It's basically crisis because you deal with one crisis, you are faced with other crises. So let us start. Let me share my PPT just for indicative purpose, as I said. Okay, this is a session we'll have for I think up to for 1 hour. We'll have the session is for 2.5 hours, right? And I have divided into three parts. Initial part will be discussing about the leadership, the crisis, and sharing our experiences, and then we'll move on to other part because my focus will be in this presentation will be. Just give me a second.
Sir, you may share the full screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing the full screen. Just a second. I'll just give it 1 second.
Sir, at slideshow, you may then.
I'm just looking at the slide, so that's what I.
Yeah, it's near animation, sir, on the top.
I had put it just a second. 1 second. 1 second. Give me. I'll do it. I'll be focusing my discussion and our discussion, rather not my discussion. I'll call it our discussion on the role of the psychological preparedness facing and resolving the crisis. Now, as leaders, all of us are facing crisis. We are making ourselves ready every day. We have planned the process. We prepare for the crisis because we know the crisis will be there. But what about the crises which are abrupt? You don't know when those are going to fall upon us. The crises which are unexpected. Say, for example, we have the recent crisis of somebody was yesterday. I had a chance to be part of one of the sessions where I think Mr. Raj Kumar, I don't know, I don't remember his name, who is from Dehradun. He was talking Uttarakhand, who was talking about this tunnel collapse, how they were able to face that particular disaster. It was an unexpected crisis. It was never expected. So these are kind of the crisis which.
Dalip sir, in case you can please share it on a full screen, it will be easy for the participants to have a look.
एक मिनट मैं वही कर रहा हूँ.
Sir, at the top where there is home written, extreme left.
हाँ मैं वही वो.
Go to slideshow, sir.
I'm just looking at slideshow only. Let me.
Sir, next, you have to click on slideshow, sir, near home.
No, that is there. I'm not able to locate it here. That's my issue.
You scroll on the top. Home, after home, there is insert. There is a drop.
Design. Just a second. Just a second, sir. I know, but there is some.
Sir, at the extreme right down bottom. If it is.
I'll just 1 second. Let me close the screen. I'll just stop it here. I'll again share it. I think that way it will be easier for me. I'm sharing it. What is happening to this? Some issues with this. That's let me home slideshow. Now is it now clear? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Can you see? Right. Okay, thank you. So as I said, the focus will be on role of psychological preparedness for facing and resolving the crisis. But prior to this, let us share our experiences, because you have gone through all the crises. You are going through the crisis. I'll request the participants to share any recent experience or any of the experiences, how they have dealt with the crisis, what kind of crisis it was, so that everybody gets benefited. And I'll also share my experience once you are through with your experiences. I expect the participants to share their experiences, and I would like this not to be a monologue. It should be an interactive session. So monologue is only for students. We are all colleagues. We are all at equal level. We have been at senior level. Please share your experience. Anyone of you can
Let me start, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In fact, again, Subha, I narrated one incident of one cyclone hit on the western coast. I was deployed at Koteshwar is a place जहां से ये दोनों क्रीक्स का एरिया चालू होता है, कोरी क्रीक और सर क्रीक, आगे पूरा क्रीक्स हैं और नाले हैं इंटरस्ट्रिप्ट। इनफैक्ट 2000 में एक साइक्लोन आया था एंड वी हैड वन सावला पीर करके एक देयर इज वन टापू काइंड ऑफ थिंग आइलैंड है, वहां पे वी यूज टू कीप एट 10 पर्सन्स ऑफ बीएसएफ। और क्योंकि इट इज ऑलमोस्ट अराउंड 30-40 किलोमीटर्स अवे फ्रॉम द मेन कोस्ट, तो वो वहां बीच में जरूरी इसलिए होता है कि दैट प्लेस इज क्वाइट नियर टू पाकिस्तान साइड, सरक्रीक के नजदीक हो। पाकिस्तान की तरफ से जो मछुआरे आते हैं वो वहां से आते हैं और उनको इंटरसेप्ट करने के लिए यहाँ से जाओ तो ज्यादा वक्त लगता है और तब तक वो निकल जाते हैं, तो वो बीच में पड़ता है, तो दे आर गिवन वन स्मॉल बोट। नाउ in fact in generally in choppy turbulent periods which I think जो पानी से रिलेटेड है उनको आइडिया होगा कि अप्रैल मई ऑनवर्ड्स वाटर्स बिकम टर्बुलेंट एंड जनरली जो छोटी बोट्स और छोटी चीजें होती हैं वो जो सीज में नहीं स्टैंड कर पाती उनको विड्रॉ कर लेते हैं। दैट यूज्ड टू बी एन एनुअल प्रैक्टिस इन बीएसएफ वाटर विंग आल्सो कि जो छोटी बोट्स हैं उनको विड्रॉ कर लिया जाता था। In fact, I suggested my CO to withdraw the Savla Pier post also, but CO somehow didn't agree. He said, let's see. I feel he must have got some orders from upper side. कि देखते हैं इस साल we want to retain Savla Pier. They were probably under this impression. Then when all the kinds of this thing happened कि भाई अब आपको साइक्लोन की वार्निंग्स आ गई, सारी चीज आ गई, then CO asked me कि whether it can be withdrawn. मैंने कहा सर अब तो चांस लेने का मतलब ये है कि अगर आप किसी बोट में जिन लोगों को भेजोगे दे विल आल्सो बी एट द रिस्क ऑफ देयर लाइव्स, क्योंकि वो 8-10 लोग तो लाइफ के रिस्क के ऊपर हैं ही हैं, उसके अलावा जो उनको बचाने जाएगा ना, साइक्लोन वार्निंग इज ऑलरेडी ऑन, यू कैन नॉट वेंचर इनटू सी आफ्टर ए साइक्लोन वार्निंग, राइट। तो देन those people were there and the cyclone hit and I don't know who has visited Koteshwar area, it was such a bad cyclone, जो जेटी वेटी छोटा था। there is a one temple, महादेव का टेम्पल था, I was sitting entire night in that महादेव टेम्पल, पुजारी जी और हम 3-4 लोग थे, we were not expecting कि we'll be saved, in fact it was so harsh. और वो सुबह देखा तो everything was gone, सड़क वगैरह सारा खत्म था। So I had almost written off those at 10 guys कि इतने बड़े साइक्लोन में वो लोग कहाँ बचे होंगे। और when it was morning, तो we didn't have anything. In fact, all the boats were thrown up on all different places, जहाँ से उनको रिट्रीव करने में भी हमें तकरीबन 1-1.5 महीना लगा। तो हमें उनकी जानकारी करने के लिए भी कोई हमारे पास में तरीका नहीं था। We didn't have any means to know about whether those guys are there. एक बोट थी उसमें 5-7 लड़के थे, they all were there. Then I don't know, people must be knowing कि जो बोट्स होती हैं उनमें रेस्क्यू बोट्स होती हैं। रेस्क्यू बोट्स आर जनरली मेड ऑफ उसकी होती हैं, रबर बोट्स होती हैं which can be inflated. उसमें 5-7 लोग आदमी, छोटा इंजन होता है 10-15 हॉर्स पावर का, and it is with the lesser speed, और इसमें 7-8 आदमी बैठ के जा सकते। तो those boats which were thrown away on the shores, तो उनमें से we took 2 these rescue boats. We thought कि let's see if something is left there. We reached there, then when we landed and when we reached to the Savla Pier post, we were so happy to find these 4-5 guys on the roof of Savla Pier. We asked them, how did you save yourself? बोले साहब पानी तो आ ही रहा था, वो एक मकान बना हुआ था, उसमें पीर बाबा है, तो पीर बाबा का पक्का मकान बना हुआ था, तो वो लोग पीर बाबा की छत के ऊपर चढ़ गए। Entire night they remained on the roof of that Savla Pir Baba की छत के ऊपर, then spent the time, and then when morning came, we all could rescue, and I believe this was their psychological strength which kept them alive. इसके साथ में जो एक बोट और हमारी थी, उस बोट में जो 5-6 लड़के थे, बोट वाज uprooted from there and the boat was taken towards it. In fact, the winds were towards Pakistan side. The boat was taken towards Pakistan side. We expected those guys to have gone to Pakistan or must have lost somewhere. But next day when we had a chopper recce, when we had one round, we could not notice them. On the second round, we noticed them and we also rescued them. तो उसमें भी when there were 4-5 guys, तो they were also telling कि साहब जब आप एक बार घूम के चले गए, we lost all the hope कि भाई अब तो ये चोपर का जो रेस्क्यू होना था जिससे हमें आइडेंटिफाई हो सकता था वो भी हट गया. But somehow or the other, again they had this psychological thing कि सब somehow or the other we will get some way out and we should hold the place, we should hold on to the thing so that कल सुबह रात निकल जाए, सुबह तक हो सकता है कोई न कोई साधन मिले. और उसी दौरान we found in fact during that cyclone also one person was rescued. He was just holding on a broken boat का जो लकड़ी का तख्ता होता है,
Right.
he was holding on that one wooden board.
Okay.
और he was rescued. तो ये जो इस तरह की चीजें हैं बेसिकली साइकोलॉजिकल चीज के आधार पर ही हैं कि when you are psychologically strong, you don't lose hope, then there are more chances of you being saved.
Right. But in any of the situations, you need that mental strength, will to take a decision, will to take that kind of risk. Basically, it was a risk. It was a decision taken by the Dekhi Jayegi.
Yes.
Right.
That was from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Rutulas ji. Thank you, sir. और कोई शेयर करना चाहेंगे? There's numerous stories from you, especially from the defense forces, BSF, who is doing wartime duties also and peacetime duties also. There will be a lot of stories, a lot of such situations which you can actually share with us. And we can draw from the experiences. We can share the experiences.
There is a case of 94 during 1994. I was in Doda.
Sir, who is it?
I am Sailesh Kumar speaking from jungles of Odisha. So in 94, I was there in Doda, another jungle, and you must be well aware about because it's a part of J&K.
Yes. I have been to that area.
From Doda, about 5 hours walk, there was a place called Bhagwa.
Okay.
So Bhagwa, the post was there, and there was a Hindu village. Basically, this company was protecting that village because all other villagers from that area, or especially Hindus, they had vacated, and there was no bridge. All bridges were blown off by militants. So we used to walk whenever we used to make movement from Doda to Bhagwa and Bhagwa to Doda. Generally, Adam party, Leave party, Rasan party, they used to go and come back. So I came to know one day that Bhagwa people, they are enjoying our hospitality, our security, and they are making country-made liquor. So, and then I could find out that my few people are their customers. They are getting their quota and they are keeping up. So I thought when this liquor, country-made liquor, don't know what type of proportion they will be adding and then making maybe a dangerous thing for my troops, even those who are consuming it. So I started arranging raids. In the evening, I used to go to that village and then used to do the job and then could apprehend certain people, then could do certain thing like thrashing certain people so that they leave. In that case, one ex-army man, he was also, I found that he was there and doing the same thing. So when we were inquiring from him the why you are making this, तो बोलता है साहब आपको ये बताइए एक्साइज एक्ट में किसने पावर दिया कि आप जो है हमारा लीकर बंद कर सकते हैं, ये तो बीएसएफ का काम नहीं है। हमने कहा बच्चे यहाँ से थाना कितना दूर है नजदीक वाला? बोला सर वो तो दूर है, अब तो सारे थानेदार तो थाना तो भाग गए, सारे चले गए डोडा में, आप ही लोग हो। बस बोला हम यहाँ की सरकार है, ठीक है। और उसके बाद मेरे साथ जो गार्ड में 2-3 बंदे थे, मैंने उनको बोला, एक था शैतान सिंह राजस्थानी, मैंने कहा और एक और उसके साथ था हरियाणा का, वो दोनों जानबूझ के रखे गए थे, पर्पस था उनका। उनको बताया गया कि इनको जाके एक्ट एंड रूल बताओ, इन्हीं के घर में अकेले में, मतलब इनके फैमिली मेंबर साथ में ना हो। और वहां पे अंदर में जाके इनको जब रूल बताया उन दोनों ने मिलके, तो रूल समझ में आ गया। फिर वो बाहर आया, हाथ जोड़ लिया, बोला साहब हमको सब रूल समझ में आ गया। मैंने कहा आदमी है और तुम ये बदमाशी कर रहा है, और तो हम लोग यहाँ सिक्योरिटी दे रहे हैं, और तुम्हारे इस लीकर के चक्कर में गांव में दूसरी एक्टिविटीज हो रही है, तो एक दूसरे इनडिसिप्लिन एक्टिविटीज में शामिल है, तो दिस विल नॉट बी टॉलरेटेड। ठीक है, हम यहाँ पे जो भी हैं सरकार सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के एजेंट हैं, और सरकार का जो डिक्टेट है उसको एनफोर्स करने के लिए यहाँ बैठे हैं। तो इसीलिए ये सब धंधे बंद करो, और जितनी हंडी वंडी सब इनके तोड़ फोड़ दिए हम लोगों ने, और वहाँ की सारी कंट्री मेड लीकर, जिसकी वजह से कई तरह के इश्यूज थे वहाँ पे, बड़े प्रॉब्लम था, लड़ाई झगड़ा से लेके बहुत सारी चीजें सारी बंद हो गई। तो इशू इज ये सब चीजें कहीं पैम्पलेट में बुकलेट में नहीं मिलता, बट आपको जो है अपना सिचुएशन को देखते हुए उसको संभालना पड़ता है। एंड देन भागवा वाज अ वेरी पीसफुल प्लेस, बड़ा अच्छे से हम रहे वहाँ जितने दिन रहे, और माय कंपनी वाज आल्सो डिड आउटस्टैंडिंग जॉब। लेडीज वेर वेरी हैप्पी आफ्टर दिस एपिसोड बिकॉज दे वेर फेसिंग द ब्रंट, बिकॉज जो ड्रंक मेन है दे वेर डूइंग ऑल नॉनसेंस। So this is a small story. When you insisted, I thought I must say it. Thank you, sir.
No, it will assist. It will help us. So anyone else?
सर शैलेश जी की स्टोरी काफी इंस्पायरिंग है, लेकिन एक चीज का मुझे पता लगा कि हरियाणा के आदमी को पर्पसफुली रखा था इन्होंने। मतलब वो एक इशू है जो जिसपे जो है डिस्कशन किया जा सकता है, because I belong to Haryana, so that's
सर सर और कोई शेयर करना चाहेंगे? because
Sir,
the more
I have a story. 17, 18, 19, 2017, 18, 19, I was posted in Bandipur.
okay,
Then there was abrogation of 370.
yes,
After that, the government said election होंगे. So it was sometime December, January election. बर्फ पड़ी हुई है सब तरफ. अब election होने गुरेज वैली में. We were deployed there.
right.
Told district administration के बर्फ पड़ी है, cannot go there. रोड बंद है. बोल नहीं हम साफ करा देंगे रोड राजधानी के आगे की, and they will go. We said arrange for the hapters were arranged, but since you are from that area, you might be knowing Rajdan Pass is typical. कब बंद हो जाए वहां पे, कब weather खराब हो जाए,
you never know.
You never know. So the hapters were stranded. बोले नहीं मौसम क्लियर नहीं, हम नहीं जाएंगे. तो then somehow district administration decided कि नहीं पैदल भेजेंगे, by vehicle भेजेंगे. राजधान से नीचे उतर गए, नीचे उतर के जो है उतरते उतरते शाम हो गई. व्हीकल से पहले रास्ता साफ कर रहे हैं, आगे आर्मी वाले, हम कर रहे हैं, फिर वो नीचे पहुंचे, वहां हो गई शाम. बसेस थे, बसेस में सिविलियन थे. दे गॉट पैनिक्ड. अब कहां जाएंगे रात को, चारों तरफ बर्फ का जंगल और नदी. एंड दे डिबोर्डेड द बसेस एंड दे स्टार्टेड रनिंग ऑल अराउंड एंड इट वाज chaos. बड़ी मुश्किल से पकड़ के इन्होंने इकट्ठा किया. जब गिनती करी तो 3 कम. Now where to search them in the night pitch of the dark? रात को अंधेरे में कहाँ ढूंढे? यार whole night the operation went. Our boys did a great job, and then they were searched. One was in north, one was in south, and one was in east. They also got separated. So such type of situations do come sometime.
Yeah.
And in that case, the preparedness, what you are talking about, psychological preparedness and mental toughness, that is the forte.
Yes.
That is required in such situations.
Yeah, Ashutosh ji, ऐसा होता है ना, because for routine crisis, that, say for example,
Yes.
I'm taking your example. आप border पे होते हैं, आपको पता है कि infiltration कहाँ से होनी है.
Yes.
You are prepared to tackle those terrorists or infiltrators. Now, abruptly पता चला कि भाई उन्होंने, जब उस टाइम तो ड्रोन थे नहीं, आपको पता चला कि ड्रोन, यू आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग ड्रोन्स, बट आप अब्रप्टली ड्रोन्स उन्होंने भेजने शुरू कर दिए. इट इज अ सिचुएशन, क्राइसिस सिचुएशन, जिसके लिए आप तैयार नहीं है basically. So you need to take a decision at that moment. And sometimes it's not with you, with everybody, that we falter to take a decision. ये नहीं कि we are not prepared or we don't know this is going to come, but there is something which हमें prevent करता है कि भाई आपको why should we हमें prevent करता है decision लेने में. We are
This is the crux
hesitating.
you have said.
Yes.
We are shy of taking decisions.
No, it's not you. It's with everybody.
We. I'm using the word we. I'm using the word we. Some people, sir.
Yeah.
Secondly, another
Yeah.
what you said of decision. Home. I was then 21. I was posted to Guwahati in IG headquarters. Home Minister was to come to us. As a staff officer, I was directed to go to the border and make preparations, all the arrangements. मैं वहाँ था. I was doing everything. DG के Home Minister came in Hapter. He started from Guwahati. The other Hapter in which DG and IG had to come, उसने उड़ने से मना कर दिया, वो खराब हो गया. अब I was there waiting from them. IG had to brief him there. But now who will do it? Home Minister is coming. So IG called me on phone. बोला, can you do it? I said, there is no question of can I do it or not I do it. I have to do it now because I am alone there. तो करा. So in that case, one has to take decisions. What you are saying, sir?
Yeah, that's what I said. But that is, you have to take a decision. But sometimes क्या होता है कि we are prepared. We are always prepared to take decision, because as I'm talking about you, the leaders who are at the senior level, you are always prepared to take decisions, right? But what happens? Sir, I'll come to you because I'll ask you to share more. But let me give me 1 minute time to intervene. So what happens? Sometimes, despite preparedness, we are shy of taking decisions, right? It's not that we are not prepared. We have done everything. So there has to be some reason. So we'll discuss that later on, but let me first, because I'll be happy you sharing, because that will clear that will actually help us in taking it, coming to that point where I'll be taking you, right?
This is the incident when you are not prepared at all. What will happen next? So
no, we are prepared.
No, the
Okay.
incident I'm relating to you.
Okay.
What happened? I was on leave. तो मैं चंडीगढ़ से जम्मू पहुंच गया. तो मेरे को सोपोर जाना था. 2006-5 की बात है. सोपोर में मेरी बटालियन डिप्लॉयड थी. मैं डिप्टी कमांडर था उस समय. तो आज मैं वहां से जम्मू पहुंचा रात वाली बस से. तो सुबह मैं कॉन्वॉय नहीं ले पाया. मेरे को थोड़ी एसिडिटी की प्रॉब्लम थी उन दिनों में. तो मैंने कहा मेरी फ्लाइट करवा दो. तो दोपहर को मैं श्रीनगर सीधा पहुंच गया. बट बाय द टाइम वो 1:30 बजे चलती थी कॉन्वॉय पंथा चौक से. वो निकल चुकी थी. बारामूला से आती थी, यहाँ से ऐसे शटल करती थी. मेरी मिस होगी तो मेरे को थोड़ा बुखार टाइप सा हो गया. ठंड लगी मेरे को. दवाई दुई लेके अगले दिन की कॉन्वॉय पकड़ी. अगले दिन भी वो कॉन्वॉय जो है 1:30 बजे चली. तो जब मैंने पूछा, दवाई दुई मैंने खा रखी थी, तो डॉक्टर ने मेरे को एंटीबायोटिक्स वगैरह और कुछ एंटी एलर्जिक दिए. तो थोड़ा मैं सुस्ता भी रहा था. एनीवे, वो जब 1:30 बजे चली, मेरे माइंड में वैसे ही आया कि मतलब कल भी कॉन्वॉय 1:30 बजे चली है, आज भी. और मे बी 10-15 days बिफोर देयर वाज एन इंसिडेंट इन अनंतनाग, जहाँ पे उन्होंने आईडी ब्लास्ट की, गाड़ी रोकी और उन्होंने फायरिंग करी. बहुत सारे लोग मारे गए थे वहां पे. मैं कहा ये एक ही टाइम पे जा रही है, तो थोड़ा ऐसे इंट्यूशन सी जैसे होती. एनीवे, निकल गए हम. वहां से निकले जब शार्टैंक क्रॉस करके हम आगे पहुंचे हैं HMT मोड वाला, उधर से मुड़ के बाहर.
राइट.
तो आगे जाके कोई 4 किलोमीटर, 3.5-4 किलोमीटर आगे जाके कि महमूदपुरा गांव आता है। तो कॉन्वाई जो हमारी थी उसमें 6-7 गाड़ियां थी। सबसे पहले एक गाड़ी होती है और सबसे पीछे जो गाड़ी होती है उनपे लाइट मशीन गन्स वगैरह लगी होती हैं। उसके बाद एक सामान वाला ट्रक होगा, उसके पीछे मिनी बस होगी, फिर ट्रक होगा, बस होगी बड़ी वाली, फिर एक पीछे ट्रक होगा। इस तरह से करके वो सारी गाड़ियों को कॉम्बिनेशन होता। तो जो मेरी गाड़ी थी वो 3 नंबर पे थी। व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम पंथा चौक, तो ये हुआ कि बड़ी बस में ऑलरेडी 30 लोग हो गए हैं। तो कुछ लेडीज और कुछ बच्चे, कुछ एसओस के, क्योंकि वो ऑफिसर्स के लिए बस होती थी, तो उसमें वो एसओस को भी बिठा लेते थे अगर उसमें कम कैपेसिटी होती थी। तो वो कुछ आए, वो कहते हम गाड़ी, मैं अकेले बैठा था, तो मैंने कहा भाई पूरी मिनी बस है, खाली पड़ी है। तो कुछ फैमिलीज बच्चों के साथ अपने, वो उनके हस्बैंड वो बैठ गए। तो हमारी गाड़ी में भी 8-9 लोग हो गए। तो आगे चलते गए। मैंने तो मेडिसिन ली थी, तो मैं ड्राइवर के बिल्कुल पीछे वाली सीट पे बैठा था, तो मेरे को आगे नींद। तो कॉन्वाई का जो कमांडर था उस समय सब इंस्पेक्टर रैंक का कमांडर होता था। उस कॉन्वाई का, छोटी कॉन्वाई होती थी, कोई ऑफिसर नहीं था। तो एंड आई वाज द ओनली ऑफिसर हु वाज अवेलेबल इन दैट, बट एज ए पैसेंजर आई वाज नॉट अवेयर अबाउट, मतलब बाकी तो सिक्योरिटी सिनेरियो तो पता था, बट आई हैड नथिंग टू डू एज फार एज कॉन्वाई वाज कंसर्न।
No, they were well prepared for the
Yes, sir.
concert. Right.
तो महमूदपुरा जब हम क्रॉस कर रहे थे, मेरी तो झपकी लगी हुई थी। जब मैं उठा हूं तो बहुत बड़ा एक ब्लास्ट होता है, बहुत ही मतलब कानों को फाड़ने वाला ब्लास्ट। तो मैं एकदम उठा, क्या हुआ क्या हुआ? देखा सारे ठीक ठाक हैं, इस गाड़ी में तो ठीक है सारे। क्या हुआ? बोले सर पीछे ब्लास्ट हुआ है। तो गाड़ी रोको, गाड़ी रुक भाई। आगे वाली गाड़ी तो निकल गई थी, जो आगे की 2 गाड़ियां थी, मैंने
Okay.
अपनी गाड़ी रुकवा ली। तो क्या हुआ, जब मैंने पीछे देखा तो बहुत बड़ा गुबार उठा हुआ था, नथिंग वाज विजिबल बियॉन्ड सर्टेन पॉइंट जहां पे वो ब्लास्ट हुआ। तो एकदम मेरे दिमाग में आया, मैं कहा अनंतनाग में फायरिंग हुई थी, अभी फायरिंग होगी हमारी, कोई ना कोई गाड़ी हमारी, क्योंकि बस हमारे पीछे थी,
Right.
ये बस फंस गई है तो अभी फायरिंग होगी। तो उन दिनों में क्या था कि व्हेन वी डिड अवर ट्रेनिंग वी यूज्ड टू फायर फ्रॉम दिस एसएलआर, self loading
Okay,
rifle
right.
7.62. In the meantime there was the induction of the new weapon 5.56 inch आस, तो मैंने वो कभी चलाई नहीं थी। तो अभी सिचुएशन ये होगी कि मतलब मेरे माइंड में ये आ रहा, मैं अभी फायर आएगा। तो मैं वो राइफल उठाई उसकी ड्राइवर की, मैं जा रहा हूँ, मेरे साथ एक आध बंदा कोई आ जाओ। तो दौड़ते दौड़ते एक बंदा मेरे साथ आया, हमने अम्यूनिशन में उठाया, जो मैगजीन लगा था। मगर एक बार तो जाके अपन गली को कवर करते हैं, कहीं से फायर आएगा मैं फायर खोल दूंगा, मगर मैगजीन ले आओ जल्दी से उठा के। मैं दौड़ गया, मेरे पीछे एक बंदा आ गया, एंड आई वाज नॉट इवन अवेयर कि उसको मतलब उसके मैकेनिज्म का मुझे बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं था। तो वो जो मेरे साथ एक एएसआई आरएम भाग रहा था, मैं कहा तूने चलाई क्या था? हाँ चल चलाई। मगर इसको तू ऑटो पे लगा दे, बाकी मैं देख लूंगा। दौड़ के मैं 200-300 मीटर आया तो बिल्टअप एरिया में पहुंच गए, मतलब जहां पे ये हुआ। तो गाड़ी मेरे को दिखी। गाड़ी में क्या हुआ कि इन्होंने मारुति गाड़ी में बम लगा के रखा हुआ था लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ द रोड।
Okay.
अगर तो हमारी गाड़ी को हिट करते वो, तो हम तो सारे उड़ जाते उसमें, इतना भारी इम्पैक्ट। तो जब मारुति का ब्लास्ट हुआ, उसमें पता नहीं कितना सारा
ID
बड़ा
था
बम था। हमारी बस को इम्पैक्ट किया, लेकिन बस को इम्पैक्ट किया सामने, मतलब उसकी लेफ्ट साइड में।
Okay.
अगर सेंटर में करता तो शायद बस फट जाती, इतना बड़ा ब्लास्ट। तो गाड़ी पुश हुई राइट साइड को रोड पे, उधर चिनार का पेड़ था बहुत बड़ा,
Okay.
गाड़ी जाके उसमें लगी। इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी जो वो इतनी सी हो गई,
हो गई।
30 लोग थे उसके अंदर। तो जब मैं वहां पहुंचा, पहले मैंने कवर की, फिर फायर नहीं आया, मैं कहा ठीक है अभी। तो उसको एसआईआर को बोला, मैं कहा तू इस गली को कवर रखना, अगर फायर आएगा तूने अंदर तो फायर कर देना ऊपर की तरफ जहां तेरे को कोई बंदा दिखे। तो दिस वाज द सिचुएशन। फिर क्या हुआ, क्योंकि सब इंस्पेक्टर पीछे था, वो भी पहुंच गया, वो बिल्कुल बेचारा बेहाल हो गया, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा ब्लास्ट था। 30 लोग इंजर्ड थे हमारे पास, उसमें से कुछ मर गए थे, एक तो बिल्कुल ही मतलब खत्म हो गया था, जो ड्राइवर वाली सीट पे था। ड्राइवर की टांगे टूट गई और बीच में फंसी हुई थी, बड़ी मुश्किल से निकाला। तो हाँ, नाउ वी आर अनेबल टू एंटर इनसाइड द बस, बिकॉज उसका इतना वो वो हो रखा है। फिर मैं धक्का शक्का मार के फिर एक शीशा जो टूटा हुआ था उसके अंदर से मैं अंदर घुसा, फिर जाके उसको दरवाजे को अंदर से मार मूर के किसी तरह से हमने एक दरवाजा खोल लिया पीछे वाला, फिर बाकी लोग आ गए। सर उस समय जो कंडीशन थी वो ये थी, मैंने जाके को ड्राइवर के नीचे ऐसे करके हाथ लगाया ना, उसकी गर्दन को ऐसे ऐसे लटका हुआ था, तो यू वॉन्ट बिलीव मेरा हाथ उसके पीछे अंदर तक चला गया, उसका ब्रेन मैटर सारा निकल चुका था, मेरा हाथ पूरा खूनो खून। ड्राइवर को देखा तो ड्राइवर मतलब ही इज आल्सो डेड बट ही सर्वाइव्ड। सिचुएशन ये थी, उसमें से बहुत सारे लोग जो हिट किए, किसी के नाक टूटा हुआ था, किसी का ये टूटा हुआ था, कईयों को ब्लास्ट का इम्पैक्ट हो, कईयों की आंखें लटक गई बाहर। एक फिर हमने निकालने शुरू किए, जिसको पहले उतारा उसकी दोनों टांगे बीच में से टूटी हुई थी, जैसे उसने जमीन पे पैर लगाए उसके टांगे मुड़ी, मतलब इट वाज सच्चे मतलब सिचुएशन उस समय कि मतलब बंदे की जान निकल जाती है। तो वो सिचुएशन थी, तो देन आई टुक ओवर। आई सेड कि नहीं, सब इंस्पेक्टर ही वाज अनेबल टू आई मीन डू एनीथिंग, एंड बीइंग एन ऑफिसर आई टुक ओवर। आई सेड नाउ आई एम द कमांडर, नाउ वी विल डील विद द सिचुएशन लाइक दिस। फिर हमने गाड़ियां खाली करवाई, अपनी कैजुअलिटी निकालनी शुरू की, डेड बॉडी अलग करी। इन द मीन टाइम मेरे पास उस समय मोबाइल होता था नोकिया का 6600, मैंने वो भी बनाई, उसकी वीडियो भी बनाई, उस कंडीशन में हमने वीडियो भी बनाई, फोटोग्राफी भी की, इंजन भी ढूंढा उसका, और गाड़ियों से लोगों को निकाल के, जो गाड़ी मैंने सारा सामान निकलवा दिया, साइडों पे लगवा दिया, लोगों को उतार दिया, सब साइडों में अपनी पोजीशन ले लेंगे, 5-5 6-6 एक एक गाड़ी में 5-5 6-6 करके। इन द मीन टाइम जो मैंने अपने यूनिट में फोन किया एडजुटेंट को, उसको मैंने बोला तुमने किसी से कोई चर्चा नहीं करनी, तुमने मेरा एक पहला काम करना है कि तुम बदामी बाग में जो हॉस्पिटल है उसमें आर्मी के हॉस्पिटल में फोन करो, उनको बोलो हमारे 30-35 लोग जख्मी हैं, आईडी ब्लास्ट है, पूरी तरह से जख्मी है, वो अपनी टीमें तैयार करें। उसके बाद तुमने यूनिट में सीओ साहब को बताना कि सर धालीवाल आईडी में ब्लास्ट वाले उसमें आए, धालीवाल ठीक है, बाकी लोग बहुत इंजर्ड है। फिर वो फ्रंटियर सेक्टर जो भी आगे बताना था वो सारा सिचुएशन उसने ऐसे किया। अब आप मानेंगे जो मेरी फर्स्ट कैजुअलिटीज निकली ट्रक फर्स्ट गाड़ी में, वो मेरी निकल गई थी 16 मिनट पे। मतलब जब से वो ब्लास्ट हुआ उसके 16 मिनट के अंदर 5-6 लोग मैंने गाड़ी में भेज। ये मेरी कैजुअलिटी इवैक्यूएशन तकरीबन 27 मिनट पे कंप्लीट हो गई थी। 27 मिनट के अंदर सब जख्मी टूटे फूटे सब भेज दिए थे। तो कुल मिला के क्या हुआ, हमारे पास जो एक डेड हुआ था वहां पे, जो मार्टायर हुआ बेचारा, वो एक ही था। ऑल 29 सर्वाइव्ड बिकॉज के उस समय हमने टाइमली एक्शन ले लिया। मैंने अपने दिमाग से जो भी मेरे दिमाग में आया वो काम किया, और उसके हिसाब से कार्य
Dhaliwal sir, it means that means you took over the leadership position there, though
Yes,
you
sir.
were not designated. So that is the leadership. That's how we say leadership. Leadership, kabhi bhi we don't say by designation. If I'm designated as, say, for example, vice president, and I don't do anything, I'm not, and if I'm not capable of doing anything, I won't be a leader. Leader is actually even if my junior is taking the
And
action.
thanks to that army doctors and their paramedical staff, जैसे ये पहुंचे हैं हर एक पेशेंट के लिए 2-2 3-3 लोग इंक्लूडिंग ए डॉक्टर, they were available there.
Right.
And then जब उनको पता चला पूरी बात का, तो जो वहां का ब्रिगेडियर साहब इंचार्ज था, then he called me after few days कि भाई तुम्हारे एफर्ट्स के कारण हम इनको बचाए।
That's basically that's what leader needs to do. It's not only designated, I'm designated as A, B, C, or vice president, or this, and I'm not doing anything. That's what leadership, basically modern leadership, we say, leading from the front, right? You need to lead from the front. That is, whether you are in crisis situation, and especially in crisis situation, you need to lead from the front. You need to show the people the way, because once you lead from the front, others will follow you. Others will get motivated. No, my person is this person is taking the lead. Let me follow him, or let me do something else also. Do. Yes. Thank you, Dhaliwal sir.
This incident of Dhaliwal sir, live, good one, sir. Has actually taken me back.
Appreciated, sir. That's what I said. It says let's Thumbs up to him, sir.
It reminds me of a incident of similar nature way back while I was in Kashmir.
Okay.
And probably none of my course who are here, I had never narrated this, but let me do it today. This was when I landed in 1999 in Valley. And my wife is also happens to be the BSF officer. She's also serving.
Okay.
Both of us were tasked. She was in the Amarnath Yatra duty. And I was given the task of being there is a control room officer of the frontier of Srinagar who has to be in base camp at Pahalgam.
Pahalgam, yeah.
And my wife was the official lady doctor for Yatris. So whatever, from Pahalgam onwards is the climb starts. So we were there, and my task was to the control room. Basically, every organization is a joint control room of all the forces. So every force has got an officer to be part of that control room. So now this Ratra was going on jolly good till one day the famous massacre of Pahalgam Yatra. If you Google it, you can 1999.
Yes.
About 35 yatris were butchered. I mean martyred rather, I can say. So what is it on that fateful day? I was normally on duty because being a duty officer has to be there, and my wife was in the hospital. They created a transit hospital, and she was being approached by these Bhandara people because she was providing Medicare to a lot of people, and these people also used to come. So one odd person saw that these are Kerala South Indian people. They will be very happy eating some dosha in Srinagar. They used to keep on asking my wife to give an invite कि भाई मैम आप एक दिन जरूर आइएगा, सर को भी लाइए, डोसा खाएंगे, आपको श्रीनगर डोसा खिलाएंगे. And we were avoiding it for a bit, but then on that particular day, she said कि भाई हॉस्पिटल जाते हो चलो डोसा खाते हुए चलते हैं. तो डोसा खाने के लिए I had a 3-year-old daughter also. So वो भी otherwise we normally keep her at home with where we are accommodation, and we come for our job. So she also took, and since the yatra was normal and there was nothing of that, and RR was the part of the complete Pahalgam Valley where they are taking care, and I did not have an operational role to play, as I said. But when I went to the Bhandara and we were standing there, after 10 minutes I found that some sound of cracker type came. So there are a lot of people of eating dosa. Yatris are there, civilians crowded, the tents are the other side of the Bhandara. I did not say anything. I thought it alerted me. After about 30 seconds, again the same sound. So it again, my ears were, got immediately, that the sound was resembling some firing. And again, after 30 seconds, another sound came. I told my wife a fire is happening somewhere very near. And this is the third time I'm hearing, and she also said, yes, I also heard. And it continued for the fourth time. And then I said, there is firing going on, and the voice was coming nearer. But from the first fire and the fourth time, the voice was getting nearer.
Okay.
So when again they were bursting in bursts of small bursts, and they were firing and walking. That was happening. So when it again happened, I immediately asked the Bhandara man, because there were about almost 50 people standing for the chance to have a dosa in that evening time. So I said, some firing is happening. You kindly close making dosa and tell me any nearby place where you have some house or something. So he indicated an house which is about 50 meters away, which I could also see. I said, first of all, everyone, 50 of you and along Bhandara, with my wife said, you come down, pin down. My guy vehicle and my on that day I took this is as Mr. Dhaliwal said, unaware. I was with only one guard. Normally we will come out with 3 or 4. One
Right.
person only I took, and I was also having a magazine with my AK. So and this was I could, and then the voice again came very close. So immediately everybody, I asked them to lie down, and everyone, including me, my wife, my daughter, we put her down, and we were lying down there. So as soon as I saw that building, I said, please, everybody rush into that, because you are in the open and there is no defense. I mean, civilians, they hardly know, and something has to be done for everyone who is at least in that premises where I am standing there and where I am part of it.
Right.
And I asked my gypsy driver to, and one guard, the driver was also not carrying a weapon, because we just came out with my weapon and the weapon of my guard. Means unaware, I said, preparedness. And then I did not have operational role. So the gypsy, I put it inside the gate. There was a gate to the Bhandara, small gate sort. And I asked my guard to be on the side of the tire of the gypsy, so that, he is in a position.
Right.
And it's all people I took into that room, and I had to per se put the window with the glasses there, breaking the glass, waiting with all these people inside, and this, because the firing, we are uncertain where from it is coming. And after about 3 minutes of my doing this, taking this all people, this 2 militants, after firing the entire area, came to that Bhandara only.
Okay.
And the first reaction of the fire, we gave them, not allowing them to enter the Bhandara with a round of 3 fires.
Okay.
They sprayed bullets like, they were furious. And this went on, this entire thing went on for an hour.
My God.
And they bypassed that Bhandara and went towards the CRPF commandant's residence, where they tried to enter into the commandant's residence, where these both people were neutralized by the house guard of the residence of commandant.
Right.
So when I came out, I immediately had to rush to the control room. So the Bhandara, and there was a tin sheet just by the side of Bhandara, where people were hiding beside the tin sheet, thinking that it will help them to save from the bullets.
Right.
When I walk out, I saw almost 100 holes into the tin sheet of the bullet, of that tin sheet where bullets have gone through.
Right.
And there were dead bodies who were hiding by the side of that. There is a famous Mukherjee Commission inquiry on by, I think, Lieutenant General Mukherjee, who did this inquiry of this particular incident. So the crux of this particular entire incident is because of, otherwise they were to enter this Bhandara and they would have used this area, because a lot of people were camping there and there were easy targets. The casualties could have minimized to a great extent, because this was a complete area where they were maybe planning to go for a large-scale massacre.
Right.
So, but still, this entire incident, about 35 yatris got killed, and this particular area where we could resist, give the first resistance and divert them to the commandant's residence, saved many precious lives on that particular day. This is what is it.
Right. I like to quote Maxwell's. There's a famous quote about the leader, because Mr. Dhaliwal and Varghese sir, he says that a leader is one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. This is what you did, and that is the sign of a leader. And it always comes with the preparedness. But still, sometimes we hesitate to take certain decisions. It's not because we are not prepared, but certain we'll be moving to that. I like to hear a few more stories, but let me move forward. I'll start with this quote: "Great leaders move us, they ignite us and inspire us. When we try to explain why they're effective, we talk up strategy, powerful ideas, vision. But the more primal is great leadership works through the emotions." I said that PPT is just for reference, please. So we'll not be wasting much of time on PPTs, but it will be through the exchange of the ideas, right? Now, a little bit about the leader's role. You all know that leader's role is to guide, it's coach and inspire others. This is what you did. You inspired others by your actions, by taking a lead, and then also motivating those people who are with you, guiding them. And this is what I'll not like to share, to spend time on this. Now, there are a lot of challenges, right? This is basically what I'll be coming to, and then we'll move forward. See the challenge. If you look at your challenges, these are very complex. If I see my challenges are very complex, there are uncertain situations which you explained to us. Just now, you shared, the participants shared their challenges. There were uncertain situations, not ready. It's at every level. You said organization level, you said personal level. And hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
yes. you
Okay,
are.
somebody was saying that it's the.
No, sir, they were not muted. Yeah.
Okay. You face a variety of issues. These are complex issues, day-to-day issues, not only at the organizational level, at your level, but also at personal levels. We are part of, because we can't divide our personality into official one and personal one. It's just basically we come up with the behaviors. If we are suffering at home, we come up with that to our office also. That carries with us. There are those behaviors. You just cannot separate those. That this is my official. There are very few people who can do it. But generally, if we are angry at home, we carry that to our home also. If we have certain issues at home, we carry that to our workplace also. And especially for you as the security forces who are guarding the country, you are facing challenges. Yesterday, you were talking about AI. You were talking about the drones. You were talking about you never know what others will come, what they are going to come up with. And you have to change. You are to know that what are the challenges. You have to actually forecast the challenge, not know the challenge, so that you are able to find out which are the challenges are likely to come. But still, there are complications. You may be right when you are forecasting those challenges, when you are forecasting what is going to happen. That's one part of it. Other part is you are leading a force of thousands of people. You have the demands from your employees also. Yesterday somebody was talking about the higher rate of suicides in armed forces also, because you have to take care of that also. That's again a challenge, because if at that rate, what is happening in armed forces, I'm not talking about only BSF, I'm talking about CRP, any force you can take, it will reduce the morale of the people, right? So you need to take care of that. Then talking about the global security, we have 2-3 wars going on. Ukraine war is on one side. You have Israel Hamas war. Then you have the new menace of Houthis, Hezbollah, and Houthis who are bent upon creating problems. Then you have another crisis here in Maldives with the China access Maldives. And then you have another problem here in Burma. I was just going through the news item today by a Home Minister. He said that we have We have stopped free entry of the seasons from today onwards for some time. That 16 kilometer free entry. We have closed that. These are all challenges, and you are facing each other. You have to maintain, and then infiltration from Bangladesh. You have the plans for that, but what about the challenges which are like this? I'll come to this. These were never expected. Like in Gujarat, 2001, Indian Ocean tsunami, Uttarakhand flash flood, Kashmir flood, Pulwama attack you never knew that this is going to happen. COVID, where you played a great part. China Ladakh conflict. Then, yes, this is going on. Red Sea crisis, Israel Hamas crisis. It impacts us, it impacts you also. Then, abrupt surge in terrorist activities, drone attack. These were actually not foreseen. Uttarakhand tunnel collapse. I would like to know about this again. Who is from Uttarakhand, sir? I'd like to know about this again. Yesterday, I heard half of it. How they dealt with this disaster, because it was never expected. See, why I want your experience. I know that at the time of crisis, leaders are always under lens. And these days, these television wallas, television channels, social media, they are trying for smallest loops, smallest mistakes. Why it's not happening, why it has happened, why this action has been taken. And unfortunately, on many TV channels, there are people who have no association with security, and they are giving lecture on security. Who have no association with cricket, they are giving lessons about cricket. Who have no association about economy. I'm just trying to quote you one example of 1 month back. There was a very great friend of mine, nothing to do with the army, nothing to do, he was with me, working with me. And I saw him on one of the channels, and he was talking about Hamas-Israel war. I called him, मैंने कहा अच्छा तो था यार ये, but ये कहाँ से सीखा? This is what is happening. And you are always, the leader is always under lens. Everybody is there to give sermons, but you who is at the front, you have to perform. Under these, and you are under tremendous pressure. It's very, very, very real. This is very real, and it multiplies the crisis, So how to cope up with these kind of situations? Sir, Uttarakhand ka मैं सुनना चाहूंगा. Tunnel collapse. Who is this? Rajkumar? I think his name was Rajkumar. Rajkumar, sir? Is it there?
No, sir, I don't think so.
Anyone who has specifically any such which is which is not expected, unexpected crisis. If I will share one of the experiences of mine, but that is basically pertain. That's old one. I have worked in that era when there were these trade unions, because I think that's also going to help understand this, the unforeseen crisis, right? And I knew it was all across. I was working with a company with 10,000 employees across India, and in our company, strike was a normal affair, and I was ready for it because I was heading HR. I was heading the labor relations, and I knew what to do or how to deal with it. That was those processes were in place. We had one day, what happened? We got a demand notice from the union that our salaries need to be increased, our wages need to be increased, and we called them for discussion. and discussions were going on. And we said, since the discussions are going, we were never expecting strike to happen. The day our discussions started on the demands, we finished discussion at 5. It takes a lot of time. At 6 in the evening, at the time of closure of the office, they started striking. They give a call, a mass strike. It was an unexpected crisis for us because we were not ready for it. And they not only gave a strike, but they geared us. We were all the officers of the company were geared out, and we were there for 24 hours. They didn't let us go out. We had no way to go out. That was an unexpected crisis. For all of us, we were not prepared to face those crises. We were not prepared. Psychologically, we were not prepared, though we had what to do. Ultimately, we had to call the police, and then we were allowed to go out. But these are those kind of situations where you fail to take action. Not because you don't know, but you don't know the consequences. See, we looked at the consequences. We said, what if we are taking a decision and they become violent? What if they start damaging the property? So this what, where we are caught as a leader, that is where we require, what I was saying, the psychological preparedness, right? So I would like to know a few more stories from you before I move forward. I was just giving you some of the examples of in Indian context. A few more are there from industry. Industry disaster, Bhopal gas, everybody knows, nobody was prepared. Johnson & Johnson, many people lost their lives because of the faulty medicine. And then Maggie noodles, everybody knows. I think in India it happened about a decade back, and the Cadbury's also. These are some of the examples of crisis situations and how they have come out of those. We'll discuss this later, but let me hear some few more such kind of incidents which have occurred, which the officers have faced. Anyone, any volunteers who would like to share? No. Anyone? Okay. See, I have been usually talking to many defense personnel because I know a lot of defense personnel, and there's a complaint that whenever you are giving any example, you always refer to the corporates. In fact, I must say there is a connect between corporates, industry, and military. There are a lot of books written by the military personnel which we in corporate use, from battleground to boardroom. You might have heard about that particular book, a very famous book written by many people, which we as leaders have been using about the strategy. Then the leadership lessons from Navy SEALs. And similarly, I was going through some of the articles, some of the reports that in the US, military also uses some of the strategies being used adopted by the corporate in solving their problems, especially dealing with the people, the strategy of organization, the strategy of the corporates may not suit in the larger context, but a certain context, how to deal with the people. You're dealing with the people, and that's the biggest strength of army. And then academia, obviously, we are drawing from the lessons learned from the army, security forces, and from the organizations, from the corporate, and trying to find a solution to a new situation which is likely to arise. So I think this, if I give you some examples from the industry, you will accept that was in that context also, because they have been always complaining about, oh, okay, they have been always complaining about that it does not, the solutions what you prefer give does not suit us. Okay. Now I'm coming to the, I said that this is only for the purpose. Do we have time before tea? I don't know what time we have tea. Oh, we have 4:06. What time we have tea? To tea time, you would like to have some. Hello, Shikha.
Yes, sir.
We still have time for before going to tea, for tea.
Yes, sir. After 3 minutes, we shall be moving for a short tea break.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we have. Let's try to sum up. It was a real treat to hear some of the stories, the heroic leadership qualities you have inherited, how you dealt with the situation, right? And I'll again quote Maxwell, who said, a leader is one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. Thank you for the session. We will be back. We'll meet after 10 minutes after having tea and sharing some more stories, and also moving in the next section, that is the psychological preparation in crisis leadership.
Right, sir. So let's have a quick short tea break of 10 minutes, and post that we should resume thereafter.
मैं जब ये आपको मैंने कुछ वो किए हैं पीपीटीज आपके साथ शेयर जो भी करेंगे, तो उसमें मैंने कुछ रीडिंग्स लास्ट में दिया है, वो आप कुछ, वो आर जस्ट लाइट रीडिंग्स, बट वो you go through those books or those references दी हैं, and I have those books also with me, and उसमें मेरा email ID भी है, personal email ID भी है, you can write to me and I can share those books with you, e-books.
Okay, thank you.
Certain research papers भी है मेरे पास, so I can share that with you material, मेरे को कोई नहीं है, I'll be happy sharing those things where I have, which are actually good to read, light to read, and then from the point of view of gaining knowledge, which will help us beyond our retirement also.
Right. So, Parmu sir, you can share your screen and we can start.
Okay, thank you. One second, madam, मैं जरा इसको.
We have to appreciate that ma'am is so punctual that he doesn't spare even a 1 second.
Now,
It was on a lighter note, sir. या क्या था?
No, I am also on a very lighter note.
मनोज सर, आज शाम को तो आपको एक प्लेटफॉर्म देना ही पड़ेगा कि यू गाइस कैन एक्चुअली इंटरेक्ट, क्योंकि आज इतनी आप लोगों ने इंसाइटफुल स्टोरीज जो शेयर की हैं, रियल एक्सपीरियंसेस जो शेयर किए हैं. आई थिंक सर आज तो 10 मिनट लिंक खुला रहना चाहिए सर, क्योंकि लंच के बाद आप लोग जैसे इंटरेक्ट करते हैं ना सर, ओपन फोरम फॉर यू ऑल. पक्का प्रॉमिस सर.
इन्होंने तो मेरे को जगा के रखा शिखा.
सर ऐसे ही है, आप देखिए ना सर, कोहोर्ट एनर्जाइज हो जाता है टी ब्रेक के बाद, लंच के बाद.
टी ब्रेक तो एनर्जाइज करने के लिए, लंच के बाद तो नॉर्मली यू आर डाउन.
Yes, sir. Go
Okay,
ahead.
sir.
उसके बाद मैम हम इसलिए इंटरेक्ट करते हैं कि हम सो ना जाएं।
सर, हम सो ना जाएं या हम सुला ना दिए जाएं,
दोनों।
दोनों भी होते हैं सर।
दोनों। अब मैं आपको तो ओपनली नहीं बोल सकता कि आपको सुला ना दे करके।
नहीं तो
सर
मैथ्यू सर मैथ्यू सर, तभी तो मैंने आप लोगों को बोला स्टोरी शेयर करने के लिए।
Actually, ma'am, your role is very tough. You have to sit back and listen to all
Yes, yes, very difficult.
and coordinate everything. तो आपको तो सोने हम देंगे नहीं।
मैम
Okay.
3-4 कहानियां सर बताएं, 35 जो बैठे हैं, सभी के पास हैं। Many don't want to blow the trumpet, हम लोग कुछ लोग trumpet blow कर रहे, that is the only difference.
नहीं, I think it's not blowing the trumpet. It's basically sharing the experiences, learning from each other's experience. That's why हम
नहीं,
ज्ञान बांटने से तो बढ़ता है ना।
है ना दिलीप साहब, ऐसा है ना कि with 32 years of service, very rich group of people are sitting here, and each will have
yes, I know.
definitely an experience. I don't believe that nobody has it. So the time is limited, and some people are very good listeners and some are not. So that is only difference.
We have an officer on this forum in whose name a whole water channel has been named. That is Vikram Nala in Run of Kutch.
Okay.
So he's very modest and he's not sharing. He's our batchmate and he discovered that channel and it has been named after him.
That's it. Two cheers for him, right?
Fantastic, sir.
Fantastic, sir. So we have illustrious people here from Army, from security forces. Okay. Now, people have shared their stories. How was it possible? Now we're coming. How was it possible to take decision in the nick of time? So we are going. This is our second phase. This cannot be without preparation, right? When you join the forces or when you join any organization, I'm taking your example only, you will go through the rigorous training. You are prepared not only physically with the skills, how to handle the firearms, ammunition, but you are toughened psychologically also, because there, as I've seen, as we have heard, there are a lot of situations where actually your mental toughness is required. Rather, skill will be there, yes, of course. Without skill, you cannot take a decision. But with skill and with your mental toughness, it's basically what makes it to take your decision. What makes you to take a bold decision? Dekhi jayegi. Let us take a decision, right? In simple words. So I'm coming to that only now. Okay. Now crisis is basically nobody would like to face, but this is real. Let us be very clear. This is very real. एक ये है कि एक कबूतर जब आंखें बंद करता है वो कहता है कैट नहीं है, it's there. So we cannot wish away, and every crisis brings with it a different scenario, and you have to tackle every crisis with a different approach. Right? ये वही बात है. It's like that. If I'm having headache, I might take paracetamol tablet, right? We normally take paracetamol tablet, but if it persists, so we need to go to doctor. It might not be because the normal headache. It may be because of the high blood pressure. It can be because of the wrong use of the number of a lens, or it may be even stomach problem, and anything else can be there. So you need to tackle each crisis with a different set of mind, with different skills, right? Now, for anticipated crisis, you are always prepared. You have a plan that this is going to happen. This infiltration will be there. Yes, this is our plan. But what happens if you are not prepared? Sudden, what we saw here it was sudden, it was unexpected, time was short, decision was required, pressure was building up, and fortunately there were no what do you call the TV reporters or the social media there when they took decisions, because otherwise they would have been at death. Now, what to do? How to do? You have definitive answers are not there. If I'm going to take a decision, is it right decision? It might backfire. Difficult to know what strategy will be effective. And we cannot move with the complete confidence. Unfortunately, who shared their stories, they moved with a complete confidence because they were mentally tough. Okay, and we tend to, it's there for everybody. We take tougher. We don't take decisions when there are crises. Not because we are not equipped, but because we are not mentally prepared. Okay. Now, in normal circumstances, you anticipate the crisis situation, you are identifying the team, preparing the plan response. You focus on important points, identify the areas where you are dependent on others, train the team and stimulate the response. This is the normal practice. I think you all must have gone through, or you all must be doing it in your organizations. Is it, sir? Harinder, sir? Harinder, sir? Can you hear me? Hello?
Sir, can you please show the third last slide again? I want to take
Okay.
a snap of it, please.
This one, sir?
Previous one, sir.
This
Previous.
one? This one?
Yes, this one, sir.
Yeah.
Next one.
This
Next one, sir.
Okay. Okay. This
Prior
one,
to
sir.
this. Yes, this one, sir. Please.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Done. I have taken. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, I said that this is basically for reference purposes. I will request Shikha to share this PPT with you, if okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay, right. Now, coming to this normal situations. Balwant Singh ji, how are you? How do you prepare for these normal situations? Hello. Sir, you are mute. Balwant Singh ji, you are mute. Yeah. Yes.
सर क्या बोला सर? What do you want to say, sir?
मैंने कहा कि जो normal circumstances, crisis तो हर बार अब तो you are fighting crisis always. You are always fighting the crisis. Security forces and others as leaders. I'll not now say, I'll use the word leaders. These are always fighting the crisis. And we say in normal circumstances, these are the crises which are expected to be there. How do you prepare your team? How do you prepare for those?
So planning, sir, organizing, training.
How do you choose your team? कि कौन सा team?
Depend करता है सर कौन सा crisis है, natural disasters है, crisis management है.
मैं कह रहा हूँ. See, no, you know there are these are the crises which will be there. See, one is unexpected one. You never know. This what you call Uttarakhand tunnel तो कोई नहीं जानता था ये होगा. So it was, you had to take a decision. Anyone had to take a decision at the nick of the time, right? Prepare the team. But in normal circumstances, you know that these crises, say for example, I'm talking about this जो ongoing हमारे यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान के साथ होता रहता है. Normal infiltration, you know, सर्दियों से पहले तो terrorists cross करते हैं क्रीज के थ्रू कश्मीर में, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में, बॉर्डर में, या बांग्लादेश से हमारे यहाँ पे आ जाते हैं रिफ्यूजीज, या अब ये आ जाते हैं, इन्फिल्ट्रेशन होती है, या बर्मा से अभी जो आजकल भी बंद कर दिया उन्होंने फ्री मूवमेंट, वहां से भी आते हैं. So say for example, this is a normal situation. How do you prepare for it?
सर हम डीएस वाले तो ऑलरेडी प्रिपेयर रहते हैं सर, डिमांड हुआ
नहीं सर पॉइंट ये था, ये तो आपने स्लाइड में लिख रखा है, दिस इज हाउ वी प्रिपेयर आवर टीम. आई मीन दिस
सर,
यू
मैंने लिख
ऑलरेडी
के
रिटन दिस स्लाइड.
सर
एंटीना
मैंने
कैसे
लिख
चुने?
के मैंने तो लिख के रखा.
दिस इज व्हाट वी डू. हम
This is what
सबसे
you
पहले
do.
क्राइसिस क्या है उसको हम
Identify
उसका
करते हैं.
एग्जामिन करेंगे, फिर लीडर नियुक्त करेंगे, टीम नियुक्त करेंगे एज पर देयर क्वालिफिकेशन एंड देयर एक्सपीरियंस. उसके बाद उनको ब्रीफिंग करेंगे, टास्क देंगे,
ये तो already देखा
फॉर द
था हमने.
ऑपरेशन. दिस इज व्हाट वी डू नॉर्मली इन बीएसएफ.
You also follow the same pattern what
सेम
people
पैटर्न,
follow,
सेम पैटर्न.
what people follow in corporate. So there's a link between.
फॉलो करते
No,
हैं.
sir. I will say, sir. I will say otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Corporate people follow our way of working.
So that's what I said. I said before tea, I said we take corporate people take lot from the security forces. There are a lot of books on battleground to boardroom, on strategy, right? So these are that, and this is people are taking military strategy, applying those strategies to the corporate world. That's what I said. I
सर
said
मुझे
clear point.
सर मैं एक पॉइंट है मेरा, मुझे कोई थ्योरी नहीं आती थी, कुछ भी नहीं आता था, लेकिन एक सिचुएशन केम व्हेन आई वाज देयर इन दांतेवाड़ा गुजरात. फ्लड आ गई, बहुत बुरी तरीके से फ्लड आ गई. आई वाज नॉट इन एनडीआरएफ दैट टाइम. बाद में तो मैं एनडीआरएफ में हुआ, कुछ कोर्सेज भी किए, काम किया एनडीआरएफ में, लेकिन उससे पहले मुझे कोई आइडिया नहीं था ये फ्लड सिचुएशन से निपटू कैसे. बैठ कर प्लान किया कि जितने एक्स एनडीआरएफ हैं, जितने लोगों को तैरना आता है, जो बंगाल साइड के हैं, उनकी टीमें बनाई, इक्विपमेंट लिया और उन टीमों को लॉन्च कर दिया, लोगों की मदद करी. मतलब फॉर्मेशन ऑफ टीम एंड आइडेंटिफाइंग द क्राइसिस एंड आफ्टर दैट फॉर्मेशन ऑफ टीम एज पर द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द क्राइसिस, उस हिसाब से करके लॉन्च कर दिया. देन देयर इज सुपरविजन ऑफ कोर्स. तो उसको कॉर्पोरेट का उसमें क्या था मुझे पता नहीं. एज ए लेमैन आई डिड दैट.
नहीं मैं वो नहीं कह रहा हूँ. मैं ये नहीं कहते. बहुत सारे देयर एक स्कूल ऑफ थॉट है, वो बोलते हैं कि ये हम जो स्ट्रेटजीज है, आई सेड इफ यू स्ट्रेटजीज है कॉर्पोरेट की और जो सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस की मिलती नहीं है. मैं आई वाज जस्ट इट वाज जस्ट आई मेड इट एब्सोल्युटली क्लियर बिफोर टी कि we are borrowing, corporate is borrowing a lot from the security forces. Navy SEALs
इसमें ये पॉइंट है कि ऑलरेडी फोर्स में देयर इज अ सिस्टम सर, where we have contingency planning.
Okay.
So all kind of contingencies which can arise are already planned and laid out. Okay. And sometimes even rehearsed.
Okay.
Which are likely to happen.
Okay.
So all these points what has been given on the slide, it is more or less on the same line.
More or less on the same. Okay, same.
It is on the same line, barring couple of points here and there or additions or deletions.
No, it can be.
Otherwise, it is mostly on the same line. So there is something called contingency plan for various kind of situations which might arise, whether it is operation, whether it's administration, whether it is mutual support, whatever kind of thing might arise.
Okay.
Natural calamities in the area which are likely to happen. So there is already a planning done, and they are all written and placed with the commander.
Right.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, my pleasure. बताइए sir.
Good evening, sir. मैं जहाँ मणिपुर में हूँ, जहाँ पे जो कल परसों भी मैंने बताया था कि हमारे 32 साल के जो हमारे को एक्सपोजर मिला है, ऐसा सिचुएशन कहीं भी हमने कभी भी फेस नहीं किया जो मणिपुर में.
अच्छा, अभी जो आजकल हो रहा है,
आजकल जो मणिपुर में हो रहा है,
राइट सर.
वहाँ पे जहाँ हमारी 79 कंपनीज डिप्लॉयड हैं, 14 बटालियंस हैं.
ओके.
तो जहाँ पे जो क्राइसिस क्रॉप अप होता है, जो भी सिचुएशन आती है, हमने अपने ट्रुप्स को यही उस चीज के लिए प्रिपेयर करके रखा है कि जिस तरह की सिचुएशन है उसको कैसे रिटेलिएट करना है. जहाँ की लेडीज आके पोस्ट को घेर लेती हैं, रोड ब्लॉक कर देती हैं, तो उसको किस तरह से डील करना है. वहां पे हम नॉन लीथल स्ट्रेटेजी, जो नॉन लीथल म्यूनिशन है, वो भी फायर करते हैं. टीयर स्मोक गन फायर करते हैं, चिल्ली ग्रेनेड फायर करते हैं, स्टन ग्रेनेड फायर करते हैं. लेकिन कई बार ऐसी भी सिचुएशन हो जाती है जब मिलिटेंट से इनकाउंटर होता है, जब फायरिंग होती है, तो हमें LMG, MMG और मोटर्स भी फायर करने पड़ते हैं। तो ये जो जिस तरह का क्राइसिस है, उस तरह से हमने ट्रुप्स को एजुकेट किया हुआ है, अपने आप को तैयार किया हुआ है। जिस तरह की सिचुएशन क्रॉप अप होगी, उस तरह का हमने इफेक्टिवली रिटेलिएट करना है। तो ट्रुप्स जो डिप्लॉयड है उनको एजुकेट करते हैं, उनको तैयार करके रखा हुआ है हमने कि जिस तरह का, जिस डिग्री का वहां पे थ्रेट है, उस तरह का अपनी प्रेपरेशन करनी है, और जिस तरह की सिचुएशन आती है उसको इफेक्टिवली रिटेलिएट करना।
राइट,
ये मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ।
मेरा कहना ये था कि एजुकेशन एंड ऑर्डर्स, ये दो अलग अलग चीजें रहती हैं फौज में। हमने एजुकेट कर दिया ट्रूप्स को कि किस पर्टिकुलर, जैसे मिस्टर बिल्दी बोल रहे हैं, किस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में क्या करना है, लेकिन कुछ ऑर्डर्स भी होते हैं, दोनों चीजें साथ साथ चलती हैं। देयर इज ए क्राइसिस एवरी टाइम व्हेन ए पर्सन थिंक्स कि ये चीज कर दिया, तो ऊपर वाला बोलेगा क्यों कर दिया, पूछा क्यों नहीं, और अगर पूछ लिया तो बोलेगा कि ये भी क्यों पूछने की बात है। मतलब मैं एक स्पेसिफिक एग्जांपल देना चाहता हूँ सर। बहुत दिनों पहले की बात है, डिप्टी कमांडेंट होते थे, किसी मेस में रुका था, एक डॉक्टर मेरे साथ रहते थे, नए आए थे बीएसएफ में, बगैर ट्रेनिंग करे, तो हमें कमरा शेयर करने के लिए दे दिया, फ्री कोर्स था कहीं किसी ट्रेनिंग सेंटर में। तो वहां पे डॉक्टर मुझे आके बोला शाम को, कहता है सर बीएसएफ में कैसी ट्रेनिंग देते हैं आप, कैसे आदेश देते हैं। तो मैं क्या हुआ, कहता है कि मैं हॉस्पिटल में बैठा था, तो एक पेशेंट आया मेरे पास, रिक्रूट था शायद, ट्रेनिंग कर रहा है आपके यहाँ पे कहीं, तो वो उसको चोट लगी हुई थी। तो हमने उससे पूछा कि चोट लगी कैसे, कहता गाय आई थी ग्राउंड में, उसने मेरे को मार दिया, मैं वहां ड्यूटी में था। तो कहते, मैंने पूछा कि गाय मार कैसे दिया आपको, गाय को भगा देना था आपने। कहते मेरी ड्यूटी तो बंदर भगाने की लगी थी, गाय को मैं कैसे भगाता। मतलब the order which was given to him, he was following strictly to those orders, he never thought of something else कि गाय आ जाएगी वो मेरे को मारेगी तो उसको भी भगाना है। तो बोला, मैंने पूछा तुमने गाय का क्यों नहीं भगा दिया, कहता सर मेरी बंदर भगाने में ड्यूटी थी, गाय भगाने की चेस्ट नंबर 21 से लेकर 30 तक वालों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी, they were not there। तो फौज में this such type of crisis they come up even if you brief your troops regularly, even if you give them orders, even if you have got the SOPs available, बट एक कांस्टेबल कितना हम उसको देते हैं ये चीज डिसाइड करने में, कि तुम डिसाइड भी कर सकते हो ग्राउंड के ऊपर जहाँ पे सिचुएशन क्रॉप अप हो। तो वो एक मुद्दा है। एक जो सिपाही है किसी बॉर्डर के ऊपर जो ओपी ड्यूटी में खड़ा है बंदूक लेके, मौके का कमांडर वही है, वही डिसीजन लेगा, सबसे बड़ा कमांडर सीओ कंपनी कमांडर बाद में आएंगे। जो पाकिस्तान की तरफ से किसी देश की तरफ से कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा तो ही विल टेक द डिसीजन, बट उसको कितना मोटिवेट, कितना तैयार करते हैं क्राइसिस से निपटने के लिए, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन द फोर्सेस व्हिच शुड बी लुक्ड इनटू।
यस, दैट इज बेसिकली द रिस्पांसिबिलिटी ऑफ द लीडर। आप कैसे उसको प्रिपेयर करते हैं साइकोलॉजिकली। सी, when we are preparing our team, it's not only with the skills, it's basically एक हमारा काम है psychologically prepare करना। और it's not only leader तो तैयार होते हैं, you always take decision, but what about your team? What about the people who have to execute that order? Unless my team is also prepared psychologically, team का तो leader का तो काम है, हर रोज का काम है, they might take a decision or somewhere, but what about the team? That's very important for a leader, especially the crisis situation, that the team has to be motivated, the team has to be shown the way, right? And normally what happens, now coming to a general question, is that there are strategies in place, as abhi aapne keh diya, strategies are in place, your SOPs are in place, but still leaders, they hesitate to take decision. ये नहीं कि डर नहीं होता है कि that मैंने ये ले लिया, मैं डिसीजन लेने में डर नहीं लगता, but they hesitate. Why? There's something, there has to be something. Your SOPs are in place, your everything is place, and it doesn't also apply to you, it applies to all across. They have a good strategy. There has to be some reason why they are not taking
at times.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
At times, the leaders, they don't take decision due to that fear of unknown at times.
Yes.
That if we fail, what will happen? If something loss happen, then responsibility will be on me. like that reasons.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's absolutely right. Because
And you see,
Sir,
sometimes there is a trust deficit with the higher commanders also, with the commander at the ground. So they don't have that much trust in their higher ups. So that may also be the reason also, one of the reason.
There's something called zero error syndrome, which has
yes,
crept in.
zero error.
yes,
You are not supposed to make any mistake at any point of time.
And secondly, in such type of this, in the situations we face, it is a matter of life and death. तो वो डिसीजन लेना होता है कि if I take and people die, what will happen? Then then the responsibility comes.
yes, yes.
मेरी गलती से वो नहीं रहे. And secondly, this again amounts to zero error syndrome. That has been hammered कि भाई मरना नहीं चाहिए कुछ भी हो जाए. That is the hitch that comes.
That comes, yes. और प्लस आजकल आप लोगों को पता है कि वो जो टीवी वाले लेंस लेके पीछे पड़े होते हैं, and this is again a pressure on you, on leaders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
सर मैं एक चीज शेयर करना चाहूंगा इसमें.
सर बताइए.
ये जो अभी हमारे आशुतोष सर ने बताया कि जैसे किसी की हमारे डिसीजन से किसी की जान माल का नुकसान न हो जाए, ये भी डर रहता है. तो इसी में एक इंसिडेंट मैं थोड़ा सा शेयर करना चाहूंगा कि किसी की जान माल का नुकसान होने का डर देख करके आई वेंट अगेंस्ट द ऑर्डर ऑफ माय सीनियर. I will not name who was the senior, but I was in a particular Naxal scenario for 3 years.
Okay.
And my unit was about to move out from that location. Then one of my senior came, who was earlier 3-4 years back. He was having some type of problem with me. Okay. And my unit was about to leave that location, and only about 16-17 days were left, and that was a Naxal scenario. And that gentleman, he started giving me verbal orders, and with my experience and exposure in that area for 3 years, I was understanding that if I follow these orders, then some of my people may get their life may get jeopardized.
Okay.
And that gentleman, this type of decisions, he was giving always verbal. And in the last 15-20 days, I think, he gave me about 14-15 such orders on each evening normally. And those 15-14 orders all verbal. And I used to say yes, but on ground, I never used to comply those orders because I was having fear that if I comply these orders, then my men life may get jeopardized. Okay. And when continuously I was not obeying his orders for 14-15 days, he never asked me any explanation or anything in writing. And neither he ever told me those type of orders in writing. So and after that, when my unit was about to leave that location, as I have already read according to my caliber, whatever I was having, whatever I could judge about him. When my unit was leaving, I told my unit, "Ki now last thing which is left to be done." I even called all my officers and told them that in our BSF, whenever a unit is moving out from that location, one precaution we have to take that nothing of that location is to be carried with it to the new location. Some things are like that, which we call it sector property. So I strictly told all my commanders and my all staff officers कि कोई भी सामान जो सेक्टर प्रॉपर्टी है, अगर ट्रेन में किसी ने भी रख दिया, मैं आप लोगों को एडवांस में बता रहा हूँ, nobody, I will not take the responsibility to that. And I strict orders I'm giving, leave all the things here, because I am having a presumption that when we are going to board at that location to leave this location, then vigilance people and other people or some effort may be done by that particular senior.
Okay.
We are going seeing the
Then in our unit, sir, I want to little more I'll tell. Then what happened? Repeatedly for 3-4 days. Normally in a unit, the quartermaster, he is the person who controls all the purchases, all the items with his efforts. So normally that officer, he gets affiliated to the items which has been bought in the unit by his hard efforts. So normally he is the officer who normally takes things. So after 3-4 days continuous, he took out all the things. I also started checking the last 2 days. I took out all the things and left the location. When my unit went to board the train, my presumption got become fully correct. When my unit was about to board the train, a special team, vigilance team, they came, and the belongings of all the unit on the railway station, everything was checked, and not a single thing was of that sector property was found. I want to share this because as a leader, and this particular episode, it has neither come in any type of document in that particular headquarter. Even myself, I'm not obeying 14-15 orders.
Hello.
I think Subrat is now disconnected.
That as
giving a reference to the leader, yes or no to the reply of this question.
Subrata, I have heard you. Subrata,
we have
I
to
heard you.
foresee this type of steps like this, and it was a crisis for me, my senior. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Sir, we were talking of crisis management in operational situations. I'll quote an example of one of my officers, a Sikh gentleman. We were in Chhattisgarh. It was peak of Naxalism at that time. 12-13-14 की बात है. 2012-13-14 की 2013. We were in operation in jungles. It was 48-hour operation. So there were अलग parties गए हुई थी. He was with one party. रात को जंगल में रुके एक पेड़ के नीचे. बहुत बड़ा पेड़ था. सुबह everything was going fine. It was all coordinated. We had to reach जहां पे मैं सुबह पहुंच रहा था वहां जा रहे थे. We were surrounded. Everything was going fine. मॉर्निंग में जब लड़के उठे हैं, इन्होंने नीचे चाय बनाने के लिए चूल्हा जलाया और ऊपर मधुमक्खी के छत्ते थे. Now a crisis. And no help come from outside.
Right.
रोड से कम 12 किलोमीटर 15 किलोमीटर अंदर थे.
Okay.
एंड 3-4 बड़े-बड़े छत्ते और सारी मधुमक्खी इनके पीछे. दे रैन, रोड की तरफ भागे, कुछ भी किया. 5 or 6 boys were very beatly stung. Very badly stung. उन्हें रोड तक लाना मुश्किल था. खैर जो बाकी थे, and we had only 3 or 4 stretchers. पेड़ डाला. अब एक को कैसे लाना है? That Sikh gentleman took a decision. कपड़ा नहीं है वहां पे तो. पेड़ तोड़े, he took out his turban. बोला इसका बनाओ स्ट्रेचर. तो
that's the presence of mind.
Yes.
That shows how training, how when you are mentally prepared to help somebody, then you try to find a way out. You try to find a way.
He could have waited there. मेरे से सेट पे बात कर रहा था क्योंकि I was in another access. कि सर क्या करूं? वो ये भी कह सकता था किसी को भेजो. But he took a decision there and he got it done. उन्हें रोड पे लेके आए.
That is the quality of the great leader.
Yes.
See, leadership. I'll again say that leader is not by the definition itself. If you take an action, that itself makes you leader. Because that is the personal leadership. Okay. So there are times when leaders hesitate to take decision. Okay. Why are they? It is basically our psychological preparedness. We have all the ammunition with us in the sense that we have skills, we have skills, we have equipment, but We are not psychologically prepared to take a decision. हर बार हर कोई बंदा ये नहीं बोलता है कि देखी जाएगी. I'll give you one incident of mine when I was in a leadership position in industry. Let me, because that may help you. See, we were again, it's an old story, and we had to close down one of the units of one of the company where I was working again, and it was a manufacturing unit, and we had about 500 employees. And I was told by the management that, Dilip, we need to close this and you move an application with the authorities, Delhi authorities, labor department, and because you have to take the permission if there are more than 300 employees working in an organization, you have to take the permission of the government. And in those days, there was no permission was granted. And in 3 months' time, if you don't get the permission, then you take it for granted that permission has been granted. However, you should have the stamp receipt of the application which you have made with the authorities. This was in the month of March. So planning was, I exactly know, it was on 20th of March of that year. That means April, May, June, we were planning to close the factory. I had made the plans, and on 31st March, the gentleman comes to me, he calls me in his room, he said, Dilip, मैंने फैक्ट्री बेच दी है, इसको खाली करना है. I was not ready for this, because I was ready for what is going to happen after 3 months, because I knew what's to be done, what are the actions to be taken, and I already taken the action, I was prepared. But it was a sudden situation which occurred to me. Fortunately, I was taken aback. I said, sir, what are you saying? Because we had decided that we'll wait for these 3 months' time. I know you will not get permission, but we'll wait for three months and we'll close after that. मेरे को अमाउंट नहीं मालूम है, 55 लाख में मैंने बेच दी है. उन दिनों 55 लाख तो बहुत काफी बड़ा अमाउंट होता था. I sold it off. और वहां पे मेरा सामान वो निकालना है, करो जो करना है. And I was taken aback, but I was fortunately trained in these kind of situations by when I started my career, I was trained by my guru, जिनको मैं अभी मैं मानता हूँ. What he had told me very clearly was, Dilip, you know everything, but जब तक तू mentally prepare नहीं होगा, तब तक कोई decision नहीं लेगा. This is what helped me that time. I said, चलिए सर, आपने decision तो ले लिया ना, leave it to me. And it was at the risk of my life, and I was attacked by 300 workers. I went to that factory, and I had to obviously I had to run away from that factory that day. But on the same day in the evening, I closed that factory. It was only, I said, देखी जाएगी, because I said, sir, देखी जाएगी. It was only because I was prepared. I had prepared myself. I was mentally tougher in those situations. कि भाई मेरे को मैं तो करूँगा. So that preparation had come. I think I by that time I had about 5-6 years of experience in that area. But that was on skill base. But my guru had actually he had actually trained me in that, how you should prepare in these situations. Now, why psychological preparation is required? That's what I just want to share this story with you. Now, what is psychological preparation? Psychological preparation is basically owns psychological or mental response to the unfolding situation, what people have been doing, and then ability to manage the demands of the situation. Whatever the situation arises, you have to manage the demands of the situation, because you cannot leave crisis unattended. You cannot leave crisis as it is. You cannot apply those type of decisions which you have been applying to the normal situations. It requires a different kind of thinking. It requires a different type of application. And for that, if you are not prepared, you will not be able to take. You will run away from taking decision. Not the scene, but run away from taking the decision. So what is that? What happens during the crisis, that sudden crisis? Am I taking right decisions? I don't have the complete information. I have no information. Somebody said that people don't, there's a trust deficit. Yes. Sometimes your seniors will not trust you. They will not support your decision. Sometimes your team is not going to support you. That is the leader's dilemma during those crises. And what should be my priority? How to save the safe? For example, people are talking about the saving the lives. Is that priority? Okay. And then, will my decision, if I take this decision, end this kind of situation? Or what if I make less out of it? See, it's not always when you take a decision that your decision or my decision will be right. A leader has to be prepared for the failures also. We can't always be right. Our decision can always not be right. We may be failure in our decision while we are taking any decision in any kind of situation. These are all things which are lurking in the mind of a leader, and he or she has to be ready for these. These are lurking every time. Fear of failure. Very important aspect of our not taking a decision or taking a decision. What stops us from taking a decision is my fear of failure. What if I fail? What will my senior people say? What will my juniors say? मेरी क्या औकात रहेगी अपने juniors के साथ? If I fail, I'll be, जिसको बोलते हैं हंसी का पात्र बनूंगा मैं. I'll be a laughing stock with my people. My colleagues क्या कहेंगे? ले लिया ना डिसीजन आपने, हो गई ना आपने, आप तो बड़े फने खान बनते थे. These are basically real situations, and it happens, and it has happened with me. It must have happened with you also. It happened to me. It's not always that I have always been successful while taking decisions. No, I've failed many a time. But that did not deter me from taking decisions. It might have happened to you also. You might have taken a decision which might have backfired, but that didn't deter you for taking action. But these basically, the fear of failure is the biggest impediment while we are taking a decision. And for this, we should be mentally prepared. Mentally preparation means that we should be ready to be, whether this is for success as well as failures. I've seen a lot of leaders saying that failure का तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं है. And they don't take any action. If you are not taking any action, there is no question of failure. Nobody is going to criticize you if you are not taking a decision. भाई मेरे को हाथ नहीं लगाना है. Let seniors take a decision. Let them give me direction, isn't it? It happens everywhere. Let them give us direction. हम as per their direction जाएंगे. गवर्नमेंट में बहुत सारा होता है. मेरे बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स गवर्नमेंट में है, वो कहते हैं यार हमने डिसीजन नहीं लेना. We are not going to let let my senior say what is to be done. मैं अपने हाथ, मैं कल को मेरे को प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, मैं अपने हाथ से डिसीजन क्यों ले? Though he or she has the authority to and power to take decision. This is what used to happen in J&K state in 2014. They were not given any orders. Now they know, वो उनको पता वहां से एक गोली आएगी तो यहाँ से तो गोला चलाना है. Now, what is psychological preparation? Being directly involved in any potentially emergency situation, as आपने बता दिया, which is terrifying. You are under severe stress. जाने बचानी है, ये situation है, disaster आ गया है, या there are different problems, and then unless you understand your own psychology, you will not be able to prepare yourself. मैं घबराता तो नहीं हूँ, घबराते सारे हैं ऐसे. Let me tell you, everybody has his or her own, उनके weak points होते हैं. घबराते तो सारे हैं कई decisions में. Reason may be different. Right? This preparedness is not a day's job. You prepare a soldier it takes longer time, and then that training is a continuous process for him. It's not a one-day job. When a recruit joins you, he undergoes the basic training for some time, then he is put in the regular forces. Then also every day he has to prepare. And then, especially for a leader, where people hesitate is feedback, taking feedback. अरे यार अपने दोस्त से बात करो, वो मेरे बारे में क्या बोलेगा? That's again our mental block. If I take feedback from my co-worker or from my friend, what will he think of me? पता नहीं क्या बोलेगा. Unless we do it continuously, we train ourselves, which I'm going to discuss in next few minutes. I understand myself. Psychological preparation, the one important thing is understanding myself. And understanding myself is not through those questionnaires, through instruments. Only that is an aid to know where you stand. But understanding yourself is through the feedback, through the monitoring. Because you know, there are a lot of behaviors which are apparent. हम behave करते हैं, लोगों को पता चल जाता कैसे है. हम सोचते हैं कि अगर हम behave करते हैं इसमें में people don't understand. No. There are certain behaviors which everybody knows about, is aware of. And there are certain things which we do not know about ourselves, but these are apparent to others, or through our actions, through our reaction to a situation. Unless I take a feedback, मैं कहाँ से अपने आप को सुधारूं, मैं अपने आप को कहाँ से prepare करूं? I'll not be able to prepare myself जब तक मैं open to feedback and criticism nahi. This is where we close our eyes, close our ears. That's the first stage of preparing psychologically, is knowing yourself, knowing my own emotions, how I behave to a particular situation. Now let me tell you, I'll share, Ashutosh, with you with all of you. One of my issues is when I have some work at hand, मेरे को चैन नहीं होता जब तक मैं उसको खत्म नहीं करता. मेरे को बहुत प्रॉब्लम होते हैं. आई फील इची. मैं बैठा रहा तो मैं उठ के खड़ा हो जाता हूँ कोई भी काम. इनफैक्ट मेरी एक और प्रॉब्लम है, मैं आपको वो भी बता दूं. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट पर्सनल ये. आई होप सम ऑफ यू माइट शेयर योर पर्सनल वीकनेस. सेकंड, मेरी जो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, मान लीजिए मेरे को कॉलेज जाना है, बिकॉज आई ऑल्सो एम दिस विजिटिंग प्रोफेसर in Mano Rachna. I teach there twice a week. मेरा 9 बजे 9:30 बजे क्लास होता है. मैं आई एम एन अर्ली राइजर. मैं 8 बजे शुरू हो जाता हूँ. तो मेरी बिटिया मेरे को बोलते हैं, पापा भी तो 8 ही बज के आप क्यों तैयार है? दैट इज माय अनदर वीकनेस. एंड आई नो सर्टेन सिचुएशंस वेयर मेरे को धड़कता दिल कि भाई यार मैं ये अगर नहीं करूंगा तो क्या होगा, या करूंगा. एंड सबसे बड़ी वीकनेस मेरी यही है कि अनलेस आई डू, यस आई हैव लॉट ऑफ वीकनेस. मैं कभी कभार आई गेट इरिटेटेड on small things. But one thing is important, I am always open for feedback and I'm monitoring. मैं पूरी तरह से तो मैं कोई भी बंदा परफेक्ट नहीं है, but while I have to take a decision about something, मैं कहता हूँ देखी जाए. I don't hesitate to take a decision, especially when this comes to the ऑफिशियल वर्क. देखी जाएगी, ठीक है. सब ज्यादा डांटी तो पड़ेगी. ज्यादा बोलेगा, हमारे लाला जी बोलेंगे भाई आप जाओ. दिस इज व्हाट वाज हैज बीन माय. ज्यादा से ज्यादा बोलेंगे भाई व्हाई हैव डन दिस, यू हैव डन इट रॉन्ग, दिस इज नॉट द वे. और क्या बोले, निकाल तो नहीं देंगे ना. एटलीस्ट you are clear that you have actually taken a decision. That is basically where because I've been training for the last 30 years to be mentally tough in taking decisions. I may not be that's what I'll request someone else also, if someone would like to share your experiences about yourself. I'll not ask about the weakness. I'll ask about the strengths, your own strengths, how you react to a particular situation if somebody wants to. This is all voluntary, because that's going to help us to move forward, understand how we prepare ourselves psychologically to a particular situation. Any participant who would like to share? Otherwise, I'll move forward.
This is a talk of 2017. I was in Gujarat that time, commanding a battalion, and then I am a AV tennis player. So I was playing tennis, inter-frontier. We have a system of inter-frontier tennis. So I reached in the finals in opens, and then I was playing finals. So finals was 3-setter. So I lost the first set to my opponent. Then one officer, that time I was commandant, one DIG rank officer, he came to me and said, Sailesh, don't worry, you are giving a good fight. Means he was trying to say that second set you will lose and you will go home. So that I took as a challenge, because I was prepared to take the second and third, and I did the same. Issue is anything which somebody advises you, or then you may have something, you may get challenges out of those words. I derived certain challenges and tried to do my best. My opponent was getting exhausted, so I took advantage of it, and the second set and the third was very easy cakewalk for me. So that year I was singles champion in BSF, doubles champion BSF, and then I went for All India tennis in Chandigarh. And there also, out of 33 teams, we were number 2 team. BSF was runners up. We lifted runners up trophy.
Okay.
So issue is their preparedness is very much required, as you said. But the issue is, one has to be ready, and to, even if he is tired, and then even if he is ready to take the challenge. I did the same, and it yielded a result that was good for me and for my team. And so this is possible that at any point of time you can acquire psychological strength, and you can certainly take advantage of the situation.
But you have to train yourself for this. Regular training is very important, because then only you will be able psychologically prepared. It's not an event. It's basically then it becomes your trait. You're able to take it. You're able to take decision when you are trained, because you know that कि भाई देखी जाएगी, ये बोला ना इस समय तो I'll take it. Let him say whatever he says, but I will do it. You are mentally prepared. Let him say whatever he says, but I'm going to take. See, that's called. See, you took that was the circumstances where you took the decision. And anybody else would like to share?
Sir, if you permit, I will want to share my
yes. It's all.
How I came in this BS.
Subrata, it's all about sharing, because I, at the very outset, said that I'm not going to teach you. I'm not a teacher. This is a sharing session where all of you have more than 2 decades, 3 decades of experience, and actually that's the session. Okay, sir, बताइए Subrata.
So, sir, how I came in BSF, it also like this only. That my father, he was a airman in Air Force. So normally in forces, children of the force personnel, they want to become officer in that particular force. So for me also, it was not an exception, and I wanted since my childhood to join the don a uniform. So I have given SSB 13 times, that service selection board. In the 7th attempt, I cleared the SSB. It was for GDOC, but I was not in the merit list. So in between this journey, number of time people they told me, यार यूनिफॉर्म तेरे बस का नहीं है, तू छोड़ दे, जबकि इतने बार तो दे दिया, 5-6 बार दे दिया, 10 बार हो गया, क्या लगा हुआ है? नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स सम ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स, मेरे कुछ अंकल बोलते तू कुछ और कर, तू पढ़ाई लिखाई में ठीक ठाक है, टीचर की जॉब आराम से मिल जाएगी तू जा. बट आई वाज हैविंग दैट आई हैव टू पुट ऑन अ यूनिफॉर्म. मैं लगा रहा, और जब एसएसबी कंप्लीट, बीएसएफ का तब पता नहीं था, और जब बीएसएफ का पहली बार दिया तो वो जो फेल्योर जो मैं हो रहा था 13 टाइम्स, वो एक प्रकार से मेरी ट्रेनिंग चल रही थी कि हाउ टू क्लियर द इंटरव्यू एंड एवरीथिंग. और जब बीएसएफ का दिया तो एक ही बार में हो गया. तो वो जो परसिवरेंस और जो लोगों का क्रिटिसिज्म और जो लगा रहा पीछे अपने को प्रिपेयर करने में, तो दैट चेंज्ड माय लाइफ. दिस आई वांटेड टू शेयर.
Thank you, sir. See, the psychological preparedness involves 3 things. One is emotional intelligence, then is resilience, जो आपने भी बात बताया, coming from an ability to inspire and motivate. Now, what is that? Emotional intelligence has 5 components. Self-awareness, which I discussed with you, that is very important for you to know who you are. How does your mood affect others and your job? This is very important. And self-awareness cannot come in one day. Actually, what I do is we were doing this one day, this exercise in one of the workshops. This only for self-awareness. I said, how much time it will take? There were senior people there. And somebody said, sir, it will take me 10 minutes. Somebody said it will take 5 minutes. And on an average time, they said not more than 10 minutes. Believe me. I knew that it's not an easy, and even 1 hour is not easier. Even after 1 hour, they were able to find out, just know about their couple of things about themselves. So if you think that if I think, you means everybody thinks that self-awareness is a day job. It's not. That's what I said. It's not a day job. It's basically what self-awareness means: ability to recognize and understand your moods and emotions and how they affect others. It's not how I behave, because my behavior is manifestation of my inner feelings. जो मैं अंदर हूं वही मैं जब मेरा बिहेवियर दूसरों के साथ है, वही तो मैं बाकी लोगों पर जाहिर करता हूं. What my behavior is, what I am, basically that's a manifestation of what when I interact with others. Second is because while I'm preparing for something, working on myself, how do I keep myself motivated? See what happens normally. आपने एक वो जो नॉर्मल एक है, लोग ईयरली गोल्स बनाते हैं, जनवरी तक हो गया, फरवरी के बाद में फिर छोड़ देते हैं. It's a common story with everybody that we make goals, and then after 1 week or 1 month or 2 months we give them up. And the fourth component of emotional intelligence is how do you control your impulses before you are acting? Because my mood and my impulses, it impacts my action. हम बोलते हैं ना किसी एक गुस्से वाला है, वो कहता है मेरे को गुस्सा आता है और तब मैं पीटूंगा. That's my impulse. That's basically manifestation of what मेरा मूड है और मेरा इमोशन है. And empathy, you have to be in somebody else's shoes. अगर मैं उसकी जगह होता तो तब मेरा क्या हाल होता. And social skills. So that means you have to understand yourself. You have to know yourself. You need to motivate yourself. You need to regulate your moods. You have to have an empathy for others. And then you also need to have social skills, that interacting with others. Because how would you motivate others? How would you convey to others? That's one of the components of the psychological preparedness. Okay. The second one is resilience. Subrata, your case is this resilience, ability to keep going and coming from failures and setbacks.
Yes, sir.
Because you cannot stop others from commenting on you. Can you? No, you cannot. When you are taking a decision, there's a failure. लोग तो कहेंगे क्या decision ले लिया, what kind of decision he has taken, isn't it? Leave aside your personal side. When you are in official capacity, when you are in official capacity as a manager, as head of a unit, as head of a division, you are taking decision every day, because you don't get success in every decision you take, right? Failures are bound to be there. If somebody says that I don't fail in my decision, I think he or she is hoodwinking, और या तो वो बोलते ना देव पुरुष होते हैं ना, या तो वो देव पुरुष है. लेकिन देव पुरुष भी तो हमारे इंद्र देवता भी तो करते हैं ना, वो भी तो गलती करते हैं. That should be a lesson for us. So it is, everybody makes mistakes, everybody fails. But coming back from the failures, working on it, that is because that builds your mental toughness. आपने गोल एक किया, मेरे को इस पे काम करना, फेल हो गया, start reworking on this. And the third component is ability to inspire and motivate others. One is your emotional intelligence, where you are motivating, keeping yourself motivated. मैं आगे कैसे बढ़ूं, मैं आगे अपनी को कैसे change करूं. Second is inspiring others, because as a leader, see, I told you, it's not only you as a person who has to take you have to take a decision, but who will execute your decision? Your decision will be executed by your team, not by yourself only. एक कहावत है ना हमारे यहाँ पे, एक चन्ना बाढ़ को तो रोक नहीं सकता. One person cannot. You as a leader, yes, it's your responsibility to take the lead. You need to lead from the front, but it's your troops who are actually executing your orders. So you need to inspire them. You need to prepare them also. It's not only you. You are preparing yourself. You as a leader have to prepare yourself, but you have to prepare your team also. पता चला कि आपने एक ऐसी सिचुएशन है कि आपका लड़का ही भाग गया, तो आप इन द सेंस भाग गया यार, कौन मरने जाए, मेरा लीडर तो जाने वही कर लेगा. These are the situations where, and these are real situations. These are not, I'm not talking about the situations where people have run away from the crisis situation. Bahane मारते. So your team, if your team is not also mentally prepared, psychologically prepared to face these situations, you will not be able to face these crises and come out with the results. But be prepared for failure also. That's very important for you, for everybody. Though we know that nobody forgives these days. मैं वही कह रहा था आपको, आजकल तो वो भी लोग हैं जिन्होंने कभी मिलिट्री में काम नहीं किया, आर्मी में काम नहीं किया. वो मेरा एक फ्रेंड था, मेरे साथ काम कर रहा था. वो he is talking about, he is giving sermons on the Hamas and Israel war. You will have to face in these, because we are in present, and in these days you need to keep that also in mind, that there's a constant lens on you. TV channels, social media, and you are answerable. You are one, and they're looking for your smallest of the mistakes. And good leaders, who are tough leaders, who are mentally strong, they don't bother about these things. Because they know they have to do their own work. A leader has his or her own work to do. So not only yourself, but your team has to be psychologically prepared to face this kind of situation. Shikha, we have still time or not?
Sir, I think time is up, and
but
can.
I'll just give me 2 minutes time.
Sure.
Whatever I had to say, I had said, but I'd like to share a small clip. There's a movie called Apollo 13, a small clip for 2 minutes. Am I allowed to?
Sure, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Let me tell you the back. Just a second. Let me tell you the small background of this. There's about Apollo 13 mission. There was a film by Tom Hanks, and the Apollo it fails. Apollo module fails before reaching moon, and there's a problem. There's a very famous quote we have a problem, Houston. And this basically how this person who is director of the operations, he's the project director of Apollo 13, how he guides his team in a crisis, how he handles the crisis. Very small clip, but very apt clip for this particular session.
Voice not.
Sir, have
Not
you shared
audible.
the voice?
There is no voice.
There's no
Sir,
voice.
you have to share the voice. System
just-
sound.
System से एक मिनट आप देख लीजिए जरा. Is there voice?
No,
No,
sir.
Hello?
No.
Prove.
Just a second, sir.
Yeah.
No voice.
So you'll have to reshare the video once, and while resharing, there will be a small checkbox for
Okay.
sound.
Just a second.
Yes. So
Okay,
you-
what I'll do is I'll go to the clip only directly because I had actually put it there, right? I'll share it. I'll share it. Give me a second.
I thought the voice is a part of your presentation with voice.
Sir, you can see
Maharaj.
on top menu share sound button.
एक second, sir. Just a second.
You can see on top menu more button and then click on share sound button.
Oh, just a second. More captions. Share sound.
Yes, sir. Please click on that button.
Just a second.
From this moment on, we are improvising
Is it-
a new
is it-
mission.
Just a second.
From this moment on, we are improvising a new mission.
Can you hear the voice?
Yes, okay now.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Come on, sir.
How do we get our people home? They are here. We turn them around, straight back, direct abort.
No, sir. We get them on a free return trajectory. It's the option with the fewest question marks for safety.
I agree with Jerry. Use the moon's gravity, slingshot them around.
No, the LEM will not support 3 guys for that amount of time.
It barely holds
I mean, we've got to do a direct abort. We do an about face, we bring the guys right home right now.
Get them back soon,
Yeah, We don't even know if the Odyssey's engine's even working, and if there's been serious damage to this spacecraft.
They blow up and they die. That is not the argument. We're talking about time, not whether or not these guys... Come on, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you.
Okay, hold it. Let's hold it down. Let's hold it down, people. The only engine we've got with enough power for a direct abort is the SPS on the service module. What Lovell has told us, it could have been damaged in an explosion, so let's consider that engine dead. We light that thing up, could blow the whole works. It's just too risky. We're not going to take that chance. In fact, the only thing the command module is good for is re-entry, so that leaves us with the LEM, which means free return trajectory. Once we get the guys around the moon, we'll fire up the LEM engine, make a long burn, pick up some speed, and get them home as quick as we can.
Gene, I'm wondering what the Grumman guys think about this.
We can't make any guarantees. We designed the LEM to land on the moon. Not fire the engine out there for course correction.
Well, unfortunately, we're not landing on the moon, are we? I don't care what anything was designed to do. I care about what it can do. So let's get to work. Let's lay it out, okay?
Capcom, flight, he says it'll be ready in time. After this burn, we've got to build some time in the flight plan for them to get some sleep.
Run it by the FAO.
I'd run it by the FAO.
Do we know how long we're going to fire that PC
He
burn?
specifically wanted a quote from a flight director.
Who wanted a quote?
The president.
The president?
Nixon. He wants ours.
We're not losing the crew.
Gene, I gotta give him odds. 5 to 1 against, 3 to 1.
I don't think they're that good.
We are not losing those men.
Troll, how long are they going to have to burn the engine at PC +2?
Look, turn him 3 to 1.
So you're telling me you can only give our guys 45 hours? That brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
Gee, we gotta talk about power here. Whoa, guys! Power is everything. Power is everything.
What do you mean?
Without it, they don't talk to us, they don't correct their trajectory, they don't turn the heat shield around. We gotta turn everything off. Now. They're not gonna make it to re-entry.
What do you mean, everything?
With everything on, the LEM draws 60 amps. At that rate, in 16 hours, the batteries are dead, not 45. And so's the crew. We gotta get them down to 12 amps.
How many?
You can't run a vacuum cleaner on 12 amps, John. We gotta turn off. We have to turn off the radars, cabin heater, instrument displays, the guidance computer, the whole smash.
Whoa, guidance computer. What if they need to do another burn? Gene, they won't even know which way they're pointed.
The more time we talk down here, the more juice they waste up there. I've been looking at the data for the past hour.
That's the deal?
That's the deal.
Okay, John. Minute we finish the burn, we'll power down the LEM.
All right.
Now, in the meantime, we're gonna have a frozen command module up there. In a couple days, we're gonna have to power it up using nothing but the re-entry batteries.
Never been tried before. Hell, we've never even simulated it before, Gene.
Well, we're gonna have to figure it out. I want people in our simulators, working re-entry scenarios. I want you guys to find every engineer who designed every switch, every circuit, every transistor, and every light bulb that's up there. Then I want you to talk to the guy in the assembly line who actually built the thing. Find out how to squeeze every amp out of both of these goddamn machines. I want this mark all the way back to Earth with time to spare. We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not gonna lose one on my watch. Failure is not an option.
Okay. Okay. That's all.
Thank you, sir. And I must say that this session has been so enlightening session that we find ourselves deeply moved and inspired by the real life experiences that have been shared by the cohort. Their experiences are the evidence to the power of resilience, courage, and strategic thinking under pressure, serves as a beacon for all of us who are navigating through the tempest of our professional and personal lives. The insights that we have gained today, highlighting the critical importance of mental fortitude, the value of swift adaptability, and the indispensable nature of empathetic leadership is overcoming adversities. Let us carry forward the lesson learned today and embedding them into our practices and inspire to embody the principles of exemplary leadership demonstrated by our esteemed BSF leaders. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dalip sir, for being with us. And thank you all for all your insightful sharing of your real experiences, which has been a true inspiration for all of us. Thank you, sir. And I would request my colleague Tanvi to please share the feedback link in the chat box.
Shared, Dr. Shikha.
Okay, thank you. And I'll request Maqsood to please stop the recording and let the forum be open